This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You take the blue polish. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red polish.
Hello my dystopian children, your father has brought you a swatching video. Mooncat recently released Welcome to Paradise, which is a 10-piece collection inspired by cyberpunk dystopia vibes.
He's just chewing.
Tighten.
Hello?
Hey, you are not allowed to chew on your Pete's.
Chewman Capote.
Put your head down. Here, wait, I have an idea. There's magnetics, multichromes, super metallic hollows, and a thermal. But most importantly, it's in a deep and moody color palette, which I have been waiting for impatiently all year. And quick apologies that this video is coming out late. We just got back from PBE, video coming soon, and then we immediately saw a Kesha concert. That reel should be out now, so this video is a little behind. Anyways, today I'll be swatching the new collection, comparing them to things in my collection, and testing some of them over black. You see that I did the my collection, like they said the flex, please flex.
Yeah.
It's like, don't have to ask me twice. Now this collection was provided as gifted PR from Mooncat, however all thoughts and opinions are my own. Oh, also I wanted to try something different with the angle of my finger in the swatches, and I messed around with some of the settings in my camera, all because of comments, so please let me know what you think of these changes. But without further ado, let's descend into the undernet and begin these swatches. What is the undernet?
I don't know, but it was in the promotional material. I don't think it's a real thing. I think it's part of the world that they're creating.
No, the internet's a thing.
A real thing, or like...
There's a lot of words here.
It is a Wikipedia article, and those usually do have words in them.
First up is Meowtek Industries. This is described as a multi-chrome lacquer that shifts between shades of green and purple. This applied pretty well. On the first coat, it had that typical patchy coverage that I expect from multi-chromes. The pigment size is a little on the larger end, giving it a slightly grainy look at the beginning. However, this does give the final look a nice sparkly texture that I appreciate. After 2 coats, it was pretty much to full opacity, but because my nails are so long, I had to do 3 to get the slightly patchy edges. Honestly, I think for most people, this would probably be a 2-coater. Now, as for the color, on this camera, this pretty much looks exclusively green, but in indirect lighting, the purple aspect is more predominant. But also this golden orange color shows up at the extreme edges of the nail. As for comparisons, I have a couple of purpley green multichromes to put it next to. Mooncat's Root of All Evil is in a red base and is thinner, but it looks like the multichrome pigment is very similar. Hollow Taco's Mist Shift is also very similar, but ultimately isn't a dupe, as the larger pigment in Meowtek Industries breaks up the traditional smooth multichrome look. You're making so many sounds with your fan. We get it, you're sweaty. It's warm in here. So overall, I'm kind of indifferent towards this one. Not because it's a bad polish, but a purple to green multichrome is kind of what I think of when I think of multichromes. It's a little default. Now don't get me wrong, it is a nice polish and it's incredibly shifty. Like, I took this extra video spinning around in my chair to show all of the color shifts and subsequently dented a nail. But beyond the larger pigment size giving an illusion of texture, it's really just a purple to green multichrome. So I'm gonna rate this 2.5 songs downloaded from Napster out of 5. Next up is Nightmode. This is a blue-purple metallic holographic lacquer. I found the coverage to be a little thin on the first coat, but was easily fixed on the second. Personally, I also think this is a super pretty color in a linear holographic formula. But what I really like about it is how metallic it looks. I think the deeper color allows the silver linear hollow pigment to take over and give it a rainbow metal effect. And even though this isn't a multichrome, the metallic shine makes it look like there may be some kind of bluish shimmer that helps make this pop when the hollow is not doing its thing in indirect lighting.
Rainbow metal. Metal for gay people.
Oh, there ain't no other way!
No, bismuth is like, well, isn't bismuth a metalloid? What's bismuth? Because that's like a rainbow.
Zoaduba.
Correct. Where am I? Comparisons?
Comparisons.
Oh, Comparisons.
Chimera
Ferrera. Chimera Ferrera.
Chimera Ferrero Rocher. As for comparisons.
Wow, sassy today.
Before the camera overheats, hurry the f*** up. There are 10 polishes and you're on the second one.
As for comparisons, I capped this with 2 linear holos from Holo Taco, that being the pastel blue and pastel purple. Putting them in a line, it shows how blue leaning this is, however it is way darker to be anywhere near similar. I did also grab Shadow Lake, not because they look like similar polishes, but they look like they have similar overall tones. So I actually really like this one a lot.
I think I'm starting to really like Nightmode.
Nightmode. Normally I find linear holos a touch boring in indirect lighting when the rainbow isn't shining. But this color is just so pretty and metallic that it just lights up my little robot heart. So I'm gonna give this 2076 Cyberpunks out of 2077. Moving on, we have Nirvana Pro X. This is a multi-chrome flaky bomb filled with silver to pink to green flakes. Now, initially I was confused if this was a topper, as beyond its clear base, it really applied like a topper in the first coat. But I was able to get it to full coverage in 3, that said, the third coat was thick with 3 C's and a Q. I did ultimately use this to top something else from this collection, so stick around to later in the video to see that. Back to this swatch, I was really glad that I used a peel off base coat, as something like this would be a pain to scrub off. As for the color on the nail, it is really difficult to describe. In this lighting, the silver aspect of the flakes is the most evident, with a pink shine that is green on the sides of the nail. In indirect lighting, the flakes look mostly green, but pink where the nail reflects the most light. But also, the texture changes depending on the lighting too, as things look more scale-like as you can see more individual flakes in indirect lighting. As for comparisons, I first thought of Dragon Scales, also by Mooncat. In the bottle, they are both pink to green flaky polishes, but Dragon Scales has smaller, more packed in flakes and scattered hollow. But on the swatch stick, the colors of the polishes diverge, as Nirvana Pro X is more pink and green, while Dragon Scales also has this gold moment. Now normally I wouldn't turn to a pink, but personally I really like the versatility of this polish as a topper. However, I do think it was a pain to get to full opacity, as it took 3 coats, with that last one essentially being a 3rd and 4th coat at the same time. So I think I'm gonna rate this 3 squips out of 5.
A squip.
It's from Japan! Comment if you get that reference. Next up we have Ego Stroker 9000.
Dirty.
That does sound so dirty.
But you also said it in such a yucky section.
Please tell me how else you're supposed to say that.
You don't have to put emphasis on it.
Okay.
Ego Stroker 9000.
Next up, we have Ego Stroker 9000. This is described as a hot pink metallic holographic lacquer, and holy f***, this was a one-coater. Like, I couldn't believe my eyes when swatching this, but it was full coverage right away. And as for the color, it is pink, but I like it. Like, this hot pink color has never been for me, but making it metallic while also a super dark shade of hot pink makes it new and exciting and different. And also this pink leans a little warm, which almost makes the shadowy part of the nail look slightly berry leaning, also adding to the interest. As for the comparisons, I thought of Hotwire Pink from Holo Taco, as that is their hot pink linear hollow. But putting them next to each other, Ego Stroker 9000 has a more complex shade range on the nail between the light and dark segments. However, this depth of color does seem to come at a sacrifice to the holographic shine, as Hotwire Pink has a tighter hollow rainbow. I did also grab Birthday Brat, as that is their metallic hot pink. Beyond them being different formulas, Birthday Brat is a more saturated and slightly brighter hot pink. So I'm having a little bit of an existential crisis on this shade. Like, it's a well-known fact that I am a certified pink polish hater, but I like this one. So like, I don't think I would ever choose to wear this for no reason, but if Barbie 2 eventually happened one day, I'm gonna wear this to the premiere. So I can't rate that I'm going to...
I can't rate. I just can't rate to be king.
Proceeds to sing Under the Sea.
They're the same song. Off.
No, they're not. Similar, sure. Interchangeable, no.
Yeah, but interchangeable in my mind where I don't remember things.
Yeah, but you just...
Perfect.
Perfect. So I can't believe I'm going to rate a pink this high, but this gets 4 Futurama Fembots out of 5. Why did you make it that way? Because now it's hard to say.
Why did you say fembots from Futurama?
That's even more Fs. Why did I think that that was easier?
I don't know.
And next up we have Cyborg Tears. This is described as a light blue silver metallic holographic lacquer. Now this one wasn't as opaque as the pink, but it was near 1 coat coverage. I needed 2 coats, but if you have shorter nails, then you may be able to get away with a single coat. And like the previous hollows, this also has the metallic effect adding to the shine, which I think is why this looked so white silver in this lighting, but in less intense lighting, the light blue aspect of this polish shows better. As for comparisons, I have a dog who's making sounds while I'm trying to film.
Goodbye.
Look at that tail wag.
Titan.
Titan.
Are you a baby?
You little baby.
No.
No, he's like, I'm
like-
playing dead right now, so that way you leave me alone. As for comparisons, I have 2 other silvery linear hollows to put it next to. And this is where the blue aspect shows the best, as this almost looks like a light blue more than a blue silver in comparison. Which, speaking of, Death Star has a more yellowy tone, and Circuit Breaker is a true silver linear hollow polish. So Cyborg Tears is blue. Tears is...
She already done had Tears of the Kingdoms.
So Cyborg Tears' blue aspect carves a niche out in my collection.
You better work carving a niche.
You better work that niche, Diva Hunty.
Boots the house down. Oh, Kerr.
Oh,
Oh, Kerr.
oh, Curtis Stone. Who's that?
He's the handsome Australian baker who's on
Oh,
Cranston Kitchen.
Jamie Lee Curtis Stone.
Jamie Lee Curtis Stone! Jamie Lee Curtis Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So I really liked this one. I love silver polish, but I also love metallic polish, so mixing them together and adding a touch of blue just makes it really interesting to me. Plus, this is the lightest color in the collection, making it really stand out as a great accent nail with pretty much any other color. So I'm gonna confidently give this 4.5 stuck Roombas crying out for help out of 5. You get it?
Yeah, I mean, Roombas aren't cyborgs, though.
Just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
I thought a cyborg was like a human with robot parts.
It's not human, but it's organic and biomechanical.
But it's-
A Roomba is full of a lot of organic material. Think about all the dead skin that it just eats all day.
Disgusting.
I mean, that's what dust is. Sorry to break it to you. Moving on, we have Moral Decay. This is described as a dark green to teal thermal polish. Now I'm going to partially disagree with the description here, as the cold state never looked dark green to me, as it looked like a dark teal. I wonder if they can hear him scratching behind me. Now we have to dig. Oh, here, I'll move the pillow for you. There we go. I love that thing with all of my heart. Okay, where were we? Oh, talking about the shift. But the warm state was a brighter shade of teal. As for the coverage, it was almost a 1 coater, but I needed a 2nd coat to get some of the thinner spots on the sides of my massive thumbnail. As for comparisons, I don't have any thermals like this, but the cold state did look a lot like Bring Me the Teal by Hollow Taco. However, that is a creme and looks darker when they are put side to side. Now, I'm not too sure where I stand on this one. Mooncat's last launch included a bunch of thermal cremes, most of which didn't have anything special in them. This polish feels like it belongs in that collection formula-wise, but in this one color palette-wise. But it isn't a bad shade, as the coverage was great, but it's kind of boring as it really just shifts between 2 shades of the same color to me. So I think I'm gonna give this 2 Black Mirrors out of 5. Okay.
There are 4 6s.
Like, I wonder if they purposely added the extra 6 to try to avoid. Speaking of, the devil said, we're gonna overheat the camera. Next up, we have Port 6666. This is described as a magnetic lacquer that shifts between magenta pink and purple and reveals a black navy base when magnetized. For these last 4 polishes, they're all in the same formula, so I painted 2 coats unmagnetized and then magnetized the last coat and kept it on the magnet for the top coat. Unmagnetized, this looks like this pinky purple multichrome that catches the light really well. When the magnet is applied, both pigments are pulled into a stripe and a deep base. It's described as a black navy base, but to me it's almost like a deep purpley indigo. As for the stripe itself, it looks more purple in this lighting, but in indirect lighting, it can look more pink. But also at extreme angles in indirect lighting, the stripe can pick up an orangey gold color, which was very unexpected. As for comparisons, I did these all unmagnetized because I don't have any magnetics that are similar. The closest for this one was Purple with Envy, which is a pinky purple multi-chrome from Hollow Taco. Queen's Curse, also from Hollow Taco, is a magnetic, but it is a warmer purple. And lastly, I'm not sure why I grabbed Cat's Evasion. It's a pinky purple, but in comparison, it's almost a maroon, so I don't know. At first I wasn't really expecting to like this one because it is so pink leaning, but it did look more purple on the nail. Plus the versatility of it looking so good magnetized and unmagnetized helps it score a little higher in my book. So I'm gonna give this 4 times that you have to rotate the USB until you can finally plug it in out of 5. And even though it's not the last polish, we have Epilogue to Utopia. This is described as a multi-chrome magnetic lacquer that shifts between indigo, blue, and purple and reveals a black base when magnetized. Now unmagnetized, it is a blurple, deep shimmery polish. It does still have some multi-chrome aspects, as in indirect lighting it will look more deep blue head-on and more pink at extreme angles. When magnetized, the shimmery pigment is pulled inwards over a smooth black base. This also has the same blurple color in this lighting, but in indirect lighting the pink can shift almost golden orange at very extreme angles. As for comparisons, this one really felt more blue to me than it was purple. However, when looking at this footage, it's definitely more purple leaning, so none of these are really that close. The closest is maybe Twilight Sonata, also by Mooncat, but it's still too blue and has a totally different shimmer pigment. So, sorry on these. If you're looking for good comparisons, look at Stephanie. She's great. Polished Yogi, look her up.
Or Yanelli.
Or Yanelli.
Like,
also kills it.
like,
let's be honest, I'm not the best swatcher out here. I'm here to be stupid with nail polish as the theme, so...
You know why you're here.
Yeah. So I also like this one. It has a similar color to Nightmode, the blue metallic hollow, just in a slightly warmer and darker tone. And I really like this on magnetized because of its metallic looking shine. So I'm gonna give this 4 discarded iPhone 7s out of 5. And next up is 404 Soul Not Found. This is described as a highly pigmented multi-chrome magnetic lacquer that shifts. This is described as a highly pigmented multi-chrome magnet.
Pigmented.
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 Coconut.
Coconut.
Pigmented.
You don't say pigment, you say pigment.
Okay. Okay. This is described. This is described as a highly pigmented.
Thank you.
Multi-chrome magnetic lacquer that shifts between teal, blue, and purple and reveals a black base when magnetized. I found this one to have the strongest coverage out of the magnetics, but I also think all of these could be painted in one coat unmagnetized and a second coat magnetized. As for the color, holy sh**, this was the shiftiest. The teal aspect was the most prominent in this lighting, but in indirect lighting, the teal shifted between green and purple. When magnetized, the stripe was mostly teal with purple and sometimes gold at more extreme angles. In indirect lighting, the stripe looked more light blue, purple, and golden orange. As for comparisons, I wanted to see how it compared to Meowtek Industries from earlier in the collection. And these two are quite similar as they both have the same teal and purple aspect, but Meowtek Industries is a more vibrant multichrome. I also put it next to The Price is Alexandrite by Hollow Taco, but that looks more purple than teal and has a more similar texture to Meowtek Industries. So overall, once again, I liked this one. However, I don't love how similar it looks to Meowtek Industries. Like, at the end of the day, they are ultimately different polishes, as one is just a multichrome and one is a magnetic multichrome, but their similarities can't really be ignored. So personally, I wouldn't have bought both if this wasn't provided as PR. Therefore, I'm going to give this... I struggle with 4 because of that reason.
So give it like 3.
3.75 lion cakes out of 5. And last up we have Mutiny. This is described as a lime green magnetic lacquer that reveals a deep teal base when magnetized. Now the first thing I thought of when I painted this on magnetized is that it looked just like a polish that was released in the Pandora Unboxed collection a while back. Am I boring you?
Yeah.
It's because I'm listening to those commenters who wanted me to not be silly while describing the polishes.
They literally didn't even comment. They said it in a Discord where they think that you wouldn't see it. Social media person is not going to look at the things that people say about them.
Well, it's not even social media. Like, have you Googled yourself? Like, I'm proud that if you Google my full name, I'm the first, 5 images. In fact, tip to my children, if you're in high school, college, Google yourself and see if you're the first things that come up, and if not, make yourself the first things that come up.
For good reasons, though.
Yeah, oh, for good reasons, please. Don't, like, become Florida Man. I'll also say this is the most consistent multichrome, as it looked pretty similar in direct and indirect lighting. In both, it is a very bright green polish that shifts a little gold or teal at some angles. When magnetized, the base looks like a black-green in direct lighting, but it is more of a very dark teal in indirect lighting. And the magnetic stripe has the same greeny gold, sometimes blue shift as when it was unmagnetized. As for comparisons, I first grabbed some other multichrome greens that are too light or too true green. The closest is Serpents of Eden, which I was talking about earlier, as the only difference I can see is Mutiny has a more fine pigment size, leading to a slightly softer effect. But as I said with the last polish, this does look super similar to something in Mooncat's lineup, just without the magnetic effect. Now personally, I don't have the patience for a magnetic manicure, so I'd probably wear this unmagnetized in the future. Therefore, I probably wouldn't have purchased both. However, if I didn't already have Serpents of Eden, I probably would have picked this one up because I like its versatility. Camera overheated again. So, I think I'm gonna give this 4 pirated DVDs from a folding table at the back of your local Walmart out of 5. Light off. We're gonna try turning off the light for voiceovers. Maybe it'll stop the camera from getting sweaty. And here is the whole collection altogether. Now, I don't think the color palette is that novel or groundbreaking, but I am ultimately really happy to be back in the moody direction I associate with Mooncat. I do also think that the bright hollow metallic accent colors in this collection are a really nice touch, as it does give off that neon cyberpunk cityscape vibe that they were going for. The only one that I think feels out of place is the Flaky Bomb, as it has more texture than the other polishes when built up to full coverage. That said, its first coat does have some great potential as a topper over a solid color, hence why I put it over the thermal in these shots. But I do want to show some of these polishes over black, as they seemed quite even on the first coat, indicating a potential as a topper. I didn't include the hollows here, as their coverage was too strong to have any potential over black. I think that Nirvana Pro X unsurprisingly looks the best as a topper. Personally, I think I like it this way way more, as the flakes look more silver with green or pink shifts as opposed to pink with silver or green shifts, like it does when built up to full coverage. The others don't look that different from before, so I wouldn't recommend painting them over black, as they mostly are already good in 2 coats. But enough topper stuff. It's time for the WOMO. We'll WOMO first, and then we'll WOM second. You'll see. WOMO, what's on my other hand? On my right hand, I'm wearing 2 polishes I got from our recent trip to Chicago. While there, we attended PBE, or Polish and Beauty Expo, which is a convention featuring a ton of indie nail polish brands. And I may have picked up a lot of polish there, so expect to see them in future WOMOs. Be on the lookout for our PBE vlog coming eventually. Anyways, I'm wearing 3 Fingers of Midnight Forest by Cupcake Polish. This is a deep black polish filled with warm and cool multichrome flakes and a blue shimmer. This is paired with So Berry Good by Bluebird Lacquer, which is a blue jelly filled with hollow bar glitters, which if you've never seen before can be very divisive, as they can look like little hollow hairs on the nail. Personally, I think they look like little hollow hairs, but that's why I like them. Anyways, now it's time for the WOM. What's on my main hand? On my main hand, I'm wearing a manicure I painted to see Kesha. I used 5 different polishes that I got from PBE and a pink dot to represent her newest album, Period. But also, I need to plug how amazing this concert was. It was literally a transcendental experience. It was sometimes a club banger rave, but other times an artistic expression of Kesha's journey towards freedom, and we sobbed so many times. I highly recommend this concert to anyone. So now that you've seen everything, let me know what you think. Are these shades sending you to Utopia, or are you volunteering as tribute?
You could just read what I wrote.
I forgot what you wrote. I remember that it was a Hunger Games reference, but I didn't remember what Hunger Games reference you wrote down. Are these shades sending you to Utopia, or are the odds just not in your favor?
That might be copyrighted.
As for my thoughts on the collection, the overall color palette left me feeling kind of whelmed. It's nothing we haven't seen before, but I'm happy we got a Mooncat collection that feels very Mooncat. especially since I complained in the last collection. I will say though, I really do love the combination of multichrome and magnetic because of its versatility, but also the overall effect. I love the versatility as they look good both magnetized and unmagnetized. And I get very lazy around magnetic polish, so I'm really happy to see something that looks good, even if I decide to not magnetize it. But if it's worth the price, that's ultimately up to you. Regardless, let me know your thoughts on the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. Okay, Titan, report in. Did you like the collection? Inconclusive.